Dear learners, having a glance over the importance of the movement, which has played an important role in disseminating the Islamic education as well as in the reform of the society, we found that this particular Deoband movement had played a crucial role in shaping the values and beliefs of Muslim communities around the world. They emphasize on the importance of knowledge and the learning in Islam through Islamic education. Whatever we have to learn, it is through the Islamic education. The Deoband movement also focused on the integration of religious teaching with modern educational practices. Nowadays, we found that they are focusing on integrating the religious teaching with modern educational practices, ensuring that a student should receive a well rounded education that includes both the spiritual and academic development. No doubt, Deoband School has produced the stalwarts and who had played an important role in the field of education, in the field of reform, and their initiative further resulted into a development of a very pious society also. The Deoband movement has also promoted literacy and critical thinking. They had visited house to house and had also encouraged the Muslims that they should come toward the Islamic education and they should enroll their children into the Deoband school. If their children will be educated, then they can contribute in the welfare of the society and as well as in the country. As this movement was to empower individuals and to engage them with the contemporary issues while grounded in their faith through Islamic education. Dear learners, the Deoband movement also aimed to address the social inequalities, whether the sectarian, whether the we can simply say that the society, the caste system, and as well as the women who were not concerned to get to be educated. Thus, we can say that they had tried to access the marginalized group and to make them towards the education and advocated for the women's education, especially women living in the rural areas. The women in the rural areas were least literate. They even doesn't know what is Quran, what is Hadith. They were simply born as Muslim, but they were not aware about anything. So they had advocated for the education of the woman. Because if the woman will be educated, then it will transform a society. Further, dear learners, the Deoband movement, through its Islamic education, emphasized on the moral and ethical education. They advocated about the moral literacy. They had advocated that the Muslim men should avoid any sort of immoral activity, indulging into the immoral activities. And as well as they talk about the ethical education for their character building. Islam is based on the moral teaching, and it is the Deoband movement that has promoted the moral education among the Muslims of the region who were not aware about the morality also. And they had also helped the student to develop a strong sense of character. The students who got enrolled in their center, in their school, they had developed a strong sense of character building. What the faith demands from us, and as well as a responsibility towards their community. That if they are learned, they are getting the good education, so it is their responsibility that they should impart the good education in their society, in their community, so that maximum number of people can get benefit of this Deoband movement. Dear learners, the Deoband movement often worked to raise awareness among social issues. They had made a system, a chain, a program of awareness so that they could talk about the social issues faced by the Muslims of the region, and as well as they promoted the activism and the volunteer system among the students. They enrolled the volunteers who were entrusted with the task to raise awareness among the people of the societies regarding various aspects of Islam, and as well as these students were found engaging in the community services that were there, the outreach programs, to go at the farthest end and to make them learn about Islam. Dear learners, the Deoband movement often seek to reinterpret Islamic teaching. As I have already said, they were the Hanafi Muslims, Ahlul Rai, and it is based on the concept of reinterpreting the Islamic teaching for the welfare, for the benefit of the community. As per time to time, issues arises, so they advocated to reinterpret the Islamic teaching to get or to give the maximum benefit to the Muslims. They had also promoted a more progressive understanding that aligns with the current social and political context also. For example, they are advocating not to get trapped in the satanic things. They are also advocating that the Muslims should participate in the politics so that they can fight for their cause. They can work for the progress of the Muslims of India. Further, dear learners, the Deoband movement had also advocated for the social justice, equality, human rights, and had challenged the outdated practices, the superstitious practices, and had encouraged a more inclusive interpretation of Islam. By social justice, they were talking about the various social issues in which Muslims are not getting justice within their society. So they talk about the social justice. They talk about the equality among all, that all the people are equal. No one is of high standard and no one is of low standard. All are equal except the one who is pious, his rank will be high. Regarding the human rights, they advocated in the light of the Holy Quran that Quran itself is mentioning that each and every individual has their own right and they are free to exercise their right in the Kaaba. It was the Deoband movement which had infused this idea in the region where Muslims were least concerned about the human rights. Dear learners, up to now we have learned about the historical background as well as the importance of the Islamic education and the reform. Let's have a glance who was the key figure. As I have many times mentioned, the name of Maulana Muhammad Qasim Nanotwi. He was the one who was instrumental in the foundation of the Deoband school. Now, having a glance over a brief life sketch of Maulana Qasim Nanotwi, that Maulana Qasim Nanotwi was born in 1831 AD in Saharanpur, which is in Uttar Pradesh, in a village called Nanota, from which he has taken the name Nanotwi, which reflects his nativity, which reflects the place of his birth. We found that he traces his lineage from the first Rashidun Khalifa, Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq. So he belonged to the Ashraf family and he had tried his best to prove his lineage, that his lineage is a very pious one and the spirit of Islam is in his lineage. Dear learners, we found that Maulana Qasim Nanotwi received his primary education at his native place. Then from here, he was sent to Deoband, from Nanota to Deoband. And at Deoband, he came in the guidance of the very famous Maulvi, Mehtab Ali. And it was Maulvi Mehtab Ali who had taught him the Quran, the Hadith, the Arabic, the logic, the fiqh. And he was very much fond of Maulvi Mehtab Ali. And Maulvi Mehtab Ali had also played an important role in shaping the character and the career of Maulana Qasim Nanotwi. From Deoband, he moved to the city of Saharanpur. And when he moved to the city of Saharanpur, he came into the circle of Maulvi Nawaz, who was an expert of Arabic grammar and as well as an expert of the Arabic syntax, who had instructed him that he should first of all learn or study the elementary books on this subject of grammar and syntax. This has further shaped the character or educational innovations or inner educational spirit in Maulana Qasim Nanotwi. At the end of 1843, hardly he must be of 13 years old. Then he moved to Delhi with one of the famous Maulana, Mamluk Ali of Deoband. It was Maulana Mamluk Ali who had encouraged that Maulana Qasim Nanotwi should move to Delhi and should get enrolled at the Delhi school or Delhi college or Delhi madrasa. But in between, we found that Maulana Qasim Nanotwi has read a wide range of books on different fields like the logic, like the philosophy, like the scholastic theology, Ilmul Kalam, and had also read the work of Mir Zahid, Qazi Mubarak, Mullah Sadra, Shams Baziga, and it was Maulana Mamluk Ali who has advised him that in between entering the Delhi college or Delhi madrasa, Delhi school, he should read such book. This will enhance his power of understanding and reasoning. So, apart from Maulvi Nawaz, it was Maulana Mamluk Ali who also had played a very important role in building the personality of Muhammad Qasim Nanotwi. Then he joined afterward a study circle. And this study circle, that was the Delhi school, it has a central position in whole of India. The students from various regions used to reach this center, the Delhi school, to learn Islamic education. And this center was regarded as a very instrumental center where the Quran, Hadith, and its sciences were taught to the students. It was Maulana Muhammad Qasim Nanotwi. Through this study circle, this school, he learned the in-depth knowledge of the Quran and the Hadith. and gradually it was shaping his brain, his mind, his views towards the importance of education in the Muslim's life. We found that he also got enrolled in the circle of Shah Abdul Ghani Mujaddidi, who was an expert of hadith. And it was Shah Abdul Ghani Mujaddidi was the scholar associated with the school of Shah Waliullah Dehlvi. And Shah Waliullah himself was the great muhaddis, and Shah Abdul Ghani Mujaddidi was the disciple of Shah Waliullah Dehlvi, and he became an expert of hadith. So it was Maulana Qasim Nanatwi who entered into the circle of Shah Abdul Ghani Mujaddidi, and from there he acquired the knowledge of the science of hadith. Furthermore, we find out during his student days, he became famous just for his acuteness, keen observation, and his enthusiasm for gaining knowledge and learning, and his ability in comprehension, and as well as his discernment had become widespread. After acquiring knowledge, Maulana Qasim Nanatwi now had envisioned that it is a time that a school has to be founded in his native place, in his city Deoband, where the Muslims are, majority of the Muslims, or the large number of the Muslims, were almost illiterate in the Islamic education. So in 1866, as we have already stated, he founded a Madrasa Islamia. And at that time he was only of the age of 35 when he laid foundation. He envisioned for this the foundation of the Madrasa, which now is known as Darul Uloom. Dear learners, this school was aimed to bring the change in the social, political, economic, and religious condition of the Indian Muslim. Now, from this school, Darul Uloom, many Muslims flocked toward it and got educated. And after getting religious education, they started contributing in various fields. They themselves had actively started organizing social upliftment program, political activism. They also tried to establish some business houses so that to elevate the economic conditions of the Muslims, providing employment for the Muslim. Dear learners, hardly Maulana Qasim Nanatwi has attained the age of 48 in 1880, almost 14 years later after the establishment of Darul Uloom Deoband. Maulana Qasim Nanatwi expired. Thank you very much, dear learners.